Mr. Beast's best friend is in big trouble. He left his family, and since then, his life has become a nightmare. Chris Tyson was a regular on the YouTuber's channel for years, but over the last few years, he started appearing differently, leading many to think he was sick. But that wasn't the truth, and despite hiding it for a while, he couldn't keep it in anymore and decided to reveal what was really going on. He shocked the whole world when he went from having a beard and a family with a wife and child to being a single woman with makeup, long hair, and green eyes. This change came at a much higher price than just changing his identity. Chris didn't know it yet, but he would lose everything he had worked for his entire life. Despite the immense happiness of being a trans woman, Chris, now Ava, received a lot of hate on social media because people didn't agree with his decision. They said Chris shouldn't have broken his wife's heart and abandoned his child. Another reason is that they thought it was unfair that he didn't reveal himself from the start, and many even called him a coward. Chris took some time to enjoy his new phase and decided to respond to the haters and clarify what had really happened. But what he said surprised everyone. Many didn't know that Chris and his wife had been separated for over a year and that his transition started months after the breakup. So actually, he didn't abandon his family as people thought. The marriage just didn't work out, and he decided to move on with his life. Sometimes he appears with his son on social media, saying that he is the pillar of his life. He does this to prove that he hasn't abandoned him and is a present father. Chris says that after the end of the relationship, he started feeling uncomfortable with his own body and ended up having an identity crisis. After all, he knew who he was, but he wasn't sure if his gender was right. That's when he got the idea to start experimenting with new things, and with the help of therapy, he finally made the final decision, and sometime later felt it was time to reveal everything to the world. But what was the reaction of his friends who worked with him on the channel? It seemed like Chris's friends also hated his change. After what happened, he started appearing much less in the channel's videos and in his friends' daily lives. This theory was strengthened when Chandler, another friend of Mr. Beast, started sharing biblical messages on his TikTok, and many thought it was a disapproval of Chris's transition, but Chandler said it had nothing to do with that. Actually, they weren't surprised by Chris's gender change. He had already gathered them all and explained everything that was going to happen. But with Mr. Beast, things were very different. Chris says that 7 years before the transformation, the YouTuber saw him dressed as a woman for the first time when they were living together, but they just ignored the situation. However, when everything was exposed, things didn't go the same way. Many found Mr. Beast's silence was strange when his best friend started being criticized on the internet and thought he agreed with everything being said. But he decided to break the silence and posted a very direct video. Mr. Beast didn't hate his friend. On the contrary, he revealed that everything was fine with their friendship and that the change wasn't a problem at all. The real issue was the criticism being made. The YouTuber supports his friend as much as he can, and Chris is very grateful for that. After all, it wasn't easy for him to live in a body that didn't feel right, but now he feels happy with himself. However, everything changed when this news came out. Chris Tyson is being accused of horrible things, and a lot of evidence shows that it's all true. Moreover, Mr. Beast himself made a post announcing that Chris Tyson was fired. So tell me, what do you think about all this?